Welcome, it's Alex, and today I'm going to be breaking down and giving my thoughts on the overall trick system in Riders Republic. I've been digging deep into the Riders Republic beta to figure out the true depth of its trick system, while also trying to figure out some unorthodox stuff as well. Let's just get the weirdness out of the way. Honestly, there are not too many games that let you start a trick on a bike, do a 720 on a snowboard, and then land as a snowmobile. First, the controls. I have on the manual landing system, which yields you more points if you land correctly, but you do have to fix your spins and flips on your own. That seems like the intended way to play to me, but the automated landing is in there for those who just want to chill out or learn the gameplay. Then you have the character's rotations in the air mapped to either the face buttons or my preferred method, the right analog stick. You can also preload up your spins if you hold the direction and then hit the opposite right when you go off a jump. As for the grab style tricks, those are mapped to pressing either or both L2 and R2 plus different directions on the left analog stick. For grinds and slides on the snowboard or skis, there's no button input, you just land into them physically by, well, landing into them. You can somewhat adjust your weight while you're on them to tweak them into a few different variants. So with all those inputs, that gives you the various ways to spin and flip around, with a decent amount of different grab tricks in there which change depending on which discipline you're riding. This is definitely not what I would call a shallow trick system, nor an incredibly complex one either, hitting a pretty fair middle ground between the two. Now that is the intended way to play, press buttons and move sticks while catching big air, but me and outside of the box thinking tricks go way back, which is what I'm currently seeking out to find more of in Riders Republic. I have somewhat of a history of doing unintended tricks in games because those are the most rewarding ones to figure out and land to me. Also, the very origins of my channel back in 2006 was doing bike tricks in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That didn't even have a trick system, which is what made trying to invent my very own all the more satisfying. Even in real life, my skating has always gravitated towards the more abnormal tricks. In Riders Republic, it's still super early, and I'm still trying my best to unearth that secret sauce of possibly not intended or hidden trick potential. One request I do have from tinkering around is when you're going fast on the traditional bikes, it seems to automatically whip you around 180 instead of letting you land and ride backwards. Possibly in manual landing mode, the auto turn could be disabled as well to allow for more backwards tricks going faster. There will be a more trick-focused BMX bike in the full release, so that might be more my style. For the snowboard and skis, the skill ceiling for those seems to come down to figuring out how you can string airs into grinds and get onto other grinds. The rails do seem to be positioned in a well-designed way where most of the grind-to-grind combos don't just happen without trying for them. Skilled players will need to figure out the right way to gap from one to another to get those longer combo strings. In that regard, this really reminds me of how the initial Tony Hawk's Pro Skater played in a good way before it added the ability to manual. Although there's not much concrete in Riders Republic, it would be super cool to see skateboarding added next year as an expansion or something. Let me know if you agree. Also, another thing I wanted to highlight is not necessarily trick system related, but I wanted to give a shout out to the Stunt Challenges. Those present you with incredibly tricky navigation-like puzzles, kinda like a fully 3D Trials game. If you can make it through one of those stunt challenges without using the rewind feature, you are truly a master of the game's controls and physics. It's you versus the terrain itself in those, and I've always wanted more things like this from similar style games, so this was a great addition. After this beta concluded, I was left pretty surprised and wanting to play more of Riders Republic, which I wasn't necessarily expecting going into it. Now before wrapping this up, let me know what you think of Riders Republic from what I showed off, because I am curious what your opinions on it are. As always, this has been Alex from Boomstick Gaming, and thanks for giving this a watch.